Hey guys, we're going to do another couple of unboxings here. We have a system here from ETC. It's the ColorSource Spot. And we've already taken the other 7 of these out of their boxes. And I can tell you they are darn impressive. And you'll see in the other videos that we're posting just how impressive they are. So what we have here is 2 different lenses. We have a 19 degree, which is a little narrower than this 26 degree. And this is the actual body. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the lenses off to the side. I'll show you the 26, but I'm just going to put the 19 degree on because that's the one that we need on the particular fixture. So I'm going to put these off to the side, and we're going to get the body out first. And these things are pretty heavy duty. If you've ever worked with ETC products before, you know that they make quality stuff and they don't mess around. So we have an installation manual here just right on the top, which is great. And the packaging is always good from ETC. You can see just how much, that's pretty rigid cardboard to protect the fixture. And they always ship in plastic, which is awesome. So we'll get it out of the plastic here real quick. This is an LED. It is fan cooled, it's not convection cooled, so you'll see that there is fans here on the back. And then we have PowerCon that goes into the fixture and Edison that goes into your outlet. And you can power, it's 4 or 5 of these on a typical 20 amp circuit. And so you'll see that they're color coded. This is the input for the power. And then this is the output to jump into the next fixture. So, and then in the bottom here, we do have a Gobo Holder here. And if you're not familiar with ellipsoidal spotlights, the Gobo will actually just slip down in here and you can project patterns, which is really cool. And then the very bottom, I'm not going to fish it out, is a cardboard box with a C-clamp, which allows you to clamp it onto a pipe, up to 2 inches in diameter. Actually, I'm going to keep this here as a platform. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to notice that the lens barrel here, or the barrel of the body, actually just turns.
Bring it over just a little bit to your left. There you go.
So this turns, it's loose. I don't really like that, so I'm going to use this retention screw here and I'm just going to lock that down. And as you can see, it doesn't rotate now. So I'm going to turn it this way. And we'll get into the 26 degree lens first, and we'll show you what that looks like. So just as a recap, this is going to be a little bit wider of a light beam than the 19 degree we're actually going to put on the fixture. So again, packaging is very, very well thought out to protect the lens, if not ungainly. So this is the lens tube, okay, and it slides in, as you'll see, and it's high quality optics. Oh, you're upside down.
So are you.
There we go. And these come in 5, 10, 19, 26, 36, 50, 70, and 90 degree lens tube variations. This is the EDLT version, the enhanced definition lens tube, and that is slightly more expensive than the standard. The reason I went with these is because it also increases the light transmission, so you get a brighter projected beam. And in my mind, with these LEDs, totally worth the cost. So we'll go ahead and get into the 19 degree here, and we'll show you how this thing actually mounts. As usual, never cut towards yourself. That's more a reminder for myself than for you guys, because I am horrible at that. Oh, this is actually packed differently. That's strange. Anyway, same lens tube, just slightly narrower. And another thing is that they ship with a filter holder. I'll show you how this works. So that pops over. If you wanted to put a colored filter, for whatever reason, this is a color changer, there are 2 slots here that you can use. There's 1, there's 2. We usually do the front one, and then this clips over and that holds it in. So it does have that capability. If you'd like, the filter ships with the lens. So we're going to have two things to take off the lens here to fit it in. One is the actual tightening knob here, and we'll show you how that works once we get it installed. And it is quite deep. And then this is a guide rod screw, or it's got a brass tube the screw sits in. You want to hang on to that. And that just makes sure that it sits in. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is point out that we have these rubber kind of bumpers that are around the lens. And so I usually orient the retention clip here at the top of the fixture. So the power is at the bottom. So we're going to orient this, and then there's these little cutouts here that correspond with those bumpers. And so once that's in, you have two channels right here, and then again on this side, which is where your screws are gonna go in. And I usually put the retention knob on the bottom as well, and that way it's consistent and I know where to find it. So I'll just finger tighten that for now. Flip this over, and again, hang on to that brass piece, and that will, it doesn't screw in very far, and it can be a little difficult. Oh, I see what's going on. So I'm going to loosen that a little bit, slide that out. It was just a little too far, I think. There we go, now it's biting. So for now I'm just going to finger tighten that, and the reason for that brass tube, that brass sleeve, is so that this can slide back and forth smoothly but still have a two-point system that retains this lens tube in its orientation within the sleeve here. So with that, the reason that we have this travel capability is so that you can focus the edges of the beam to be hard or soft. And if you're doing a Gobo projection, which is just a projection of a pattern in the Gobo Holder that I showed you earlier, when you're doing that, a lot of times you want that to be very crisp, with very crisp, sharp edges. And so having this lens tube travel back and forth in front of the light source allows you to get that different focus on the edges. If you're just doing a wash, then having a soft edge is preferable. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. Once you get it where you want it, again, you just use that retention knob, really get that down. And then just a couple other things. We have these, what I call shutters, on all four sides of the fixture. And these are actual metal spades, if you will. They're metal shutters that as you move them around, they actually interrupt the beam. And so I can shape the beam around projection screens, around audience, around set pieces, that kind of thing. So that is an incredibly helpful tool to have in your lighting arsenal, and this is why I almost always spec ellipsoidal fixtures. Finally, we have a dual knob yoke, and you have a number of different mounting positions for your clamp. And again, the clamp is what allows you to attach this to a pipe, and I actually just realized I put this yoke upside down. Yeah, I mean, it probably really doesn't matter, but since there is a top and a bottom, let's yoke from the top. Okay, so that is the ETC ColorSource spot. You got DMX in and out, and a little 3-button menu system back there. And that's, you can get a really good idea of your fan from there. So I hope that was helpful, and extremely good fixtures. I do want to emphasize that if you are hanging lights above people's heads, that you do utilize a safety cable properly. And we'll do a little tutorial on that a bit later, or in a different video. But get out there, have some fun, and we'll catch you guys next time.